Rolling. What? Come on! Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. You know me as a stainless steel refret specialist based here in Singapore. I'm with my dear friend George Lenox for part 2 of this video series where we showcase the guitars that I've refretted for George. Now, in part 1, we talk about quite a number of guitars, mainly S-style, if not actual Stratocaster guitars. But for this part 2, we have a bit more variation. We have some S-style guitars and some T-style guitars. Without any further ado, let's get into the first of these guitars. George, what's first up on the menu?
This one, I believe. This has a funny story, actually. So, I had a guitar that looked exactly like this a few years ago. I had probably before COVID, actually. It was our friend Kelly again.
He's going to feature a lot in these videos. Even though he's not in the videos, he's kind of like the spectre of all our gear-related comings and goings.
One night I bumped into Kelly and he was selling a white Squire telly, like the entry-level one, like real cheap.
I don't even think it was a Squire. I think it was a Chinese-made Fender.
No, that was the Strat.
Oh, that was the Strat.
Yeah, he had a white telly and a white Strat.
Right.
The Strat was a China-made Fender.
Yeah.
Like
modern
domestic only.
Yeah. Sorry.
And yeah, the telly was a Squire. I like the one that just says telly.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
Because you have to pay more for the other letters. And yeah, and it was alright actually. Both of those guitars were pretty cool, but they were just at the time they just served as like inspirations for what I really wanted.
Right.
It's like I got them for such a good price. It was no brainer. But eventually I was like, okay, now I want the real version of these.
Yeah.
And this was one of my parts caster projects that just took forever. Like I was just, this neck, that body,
yeah.
And finally found like a really, really cool. I think this is MJT, or it might be Mighty Might or something like that. I found this on eBay,
yeah.
And it's it's very tastefully aged, as we'll see in the B-roll. It's like it's not relicked, but it's like when you look at it up close, you can see it looks genuinely old.
Yeah.
Olympic white. One of my favorite Fender colors. Black guard. For me, it's got to be a black guard. This aesthetic for the telly is my favorite by far. And then, around the time I got this body, I found a sort of a pre-relict neck on eBay that actually said Esquire on the headstock.
I know where you're going with this story.
and like the aging-wise, it perfectly matched this, and I was like, does it matter that it says Esquire? Because I know this is. Yeah. We've got the 2 pickups.
Yeah.
So I thought, no, that's fine. That's fine. I'll just get the Esquire neck, put it on this. And it was cool. And I think you refretted that neck for me.
Yes, I did.
And then one day I was at your house. Great refret, by the way.
Thank you.
Loved the neck. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a nice profile and everything.
Yep.
But it still said Esquire on the headstock.
That bugged you.
Huh?
That bugged you.
Just a little bit. But I could have lived with it if not for the fact that you had done a parts caster telly as well.
Yes.
And yours was an Esquire. And yours said Telecaster on the headstock.
Yeah.
And I picked it up and I was like, oh, this is more my profile. This is more like a Charvel. It's got that flatter C kind of thing.
Yeah.
The Esquire one was a bit thicker and rounder.
So in case you haven't realized by now, George really enjoys a much slimmer neck profile compared to myself.
Yeah.
I do prefer a much chunkier neck. So in this case, what happened was a case of like a Freaky Friday.
Yeah.
You say, hey, you know what? Let's do a swap, right?
It made all the sense in the world,
Yeah.
like for all the right reasons. I mean, not least of all the fact that yours said Telecaster and mine said Esquire. It's like, should we?
Yeah. And I already refretted both necks anyway, so
Yeah.
as far as I was
So
concerned,
yeah, it was that easy.
Yeah,
So that's the story of that. I think I've got Fralin high output tele pickups. These are high output tele
high output
pickups.
tele,
So
right.
yeah, they don't not sound like tele pickups. Like you could totally pass this off as a normal tele, but it's just got this extra muscle and compression, which just works that much better for
Distortion.
if you're trying to rock a bit harder.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And where does this sit in the collection in terms of music projects or use cases? Where does this pop up?
I've used it with There Be Wolves a fair bit. I played a gig once with Wolves with this, and I was rocking out on it. I was playing songs on this that I would normally use a humbucker guitar
Right,
for, but
there
I was
you
just
go.
like, screw it, let's see what happens. Because it's nice and light. It's quite easy and comfortable to play. So, and I just love this aesthetic again. It's one of my favourite looks for a guitar. Usage wise, yeah, just every now and then, if I need a telly, this is my telly. This
Nice.
is my main telly.
There we go. And from one telly to the next, let's talk a bit more about the other vintage guitar that I've refretted for George, that comes with a Strat style headstock, but not quite the same style body. Tell us a bit
Yeah.
more about this.
So this is a 1977 Telecaster Deluxe, which is not really mine, but it's under my stewardship. So this was a birthday present from my father-in-law that my wife and I chipped in on, because we just felt that he needed another guitar. He needed something other than his beloved Clapton Strat. So, and we just thought we'd get him something a bit special, So I was looking on the used market, found this for quite a decent price. Went and checked it out, and thought, yeah, it's got a thing. It's got some mojo, but it had damn small frets.
Yeah.
And it almost felt like they'd been lacquered over. It was, where, because this was a lacquered neck,
Yeah.
so the lacquer's quite thick on the fretboard, and the frets are so small they're kind of just like almost part of it.
That's right.
And I was like, I mean, it wasn't unplayable, just wasn't my preference. So
I do recall trying to remove those frets, and what had happened was I encountered a lot of difficulty removing those frets because back in the day, what happened was that Fender would have the raw neck, they would install the frets in, and then they would do the finish work, which means that there was a lot of finish that it was not just on top of the fret but on the sides. And when you remove frets, for those of you who are interested in this, slightly geeky, when you take the pliers to kind of remove the frets, there was actually there was no purchase.
yeah,
I literally had to kind of like remove some of the lacquer right at the edge of the fingerboard, just so that I could have some purchase to start removing the fret.
Yep.
And eventually what I did was I did a bit of a fingerboard level, even though I wasn't removing the material of the wood. I was actually removing the finished material, just so that I could actually then put the fret on top of the finish.
and if I remember rightly, the lacquer on this neck was in a really bad way. Like it was like down the back. Eric shaved it and sanded it and made it nice for me, but it was blistering and cracking all over the place, and it was like flaking off anyway. You could have just sat there and picked it off like sunburnt skin if you had enough time on your hands, but so it needed a bit of TLC anyway. It definitely did. And so it's been just living here at the studio and not really getting used that much, but I thought it's just too cool to just sit around and not be played. So I've used it on a session. I'd like to use it a bit more. It sounds really cool.
These are original wide range humbuckers. You don't see these every day, and the truth is that when I remember when I first plugged this in, I was like, holy crap, these sound fantastic. And I totally understand why people love these pickups and why it's been such a holy grail to recreate this, and companies have spent hours and months and years just trying to get the correct formula to get the right sound. But if you can get a guitar like this, you know, again, one of those use cases where it's a vintage guitar, sounds great, maybe wasn't, you know, in the best shape to begin with, but then, you know, we brought it back to life and now it's ready to move on.
Player grade, as they say.
Player grade, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about this really. I would like to just keep it out. Actually, no, it's out.
Yeah.
Use it a bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's got a unique thing. It's got a great neck profile. A little bit deeper than I prefer, but it's probably quite similar to the '69 Strat.
That's right. Yeah.
It's got a really nice shape. And I think we went with slightly smaller frets on this one because it
Ever so slightly. Yeah.
because I was like, it's not really my guitar, but it definitely needs a refret, no matter who's playing it. So we went for like medium jumbo or something.
That's right. Yeah.
And it's fine. Like I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, and now let's move on to the last of the T styles in this segment, and one which you actually. I can't remember when you got this guitar, but I do recall you using it in its unrefretted form with Debbie Rules.
Yeah.
I remember taking some gig photos for you guys, but I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is a really cool guitar. And but tell us a bit more about history, you know, and where it's at right now.
Yeah, reverb again. Early 2024, I think I bought this. And it was one of those things where it was just kind of love at first sight. You know, I saw this. The photos on the listing were pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, they were really selling it to me, and I just thought, oh, it's so badass. You know, just everything about it. The reverse headstock, you know, the maple board, the binding, the no pick guard, black. It just looks. It's a menace. And I didn't get along with this guitar either for quite a while.
Yeah.
For, you know, same old reasons. You know, just. Probably up until you refretted it, I was like, I was trying to sell it. To be honest. I chalked it up to like an impulse buy and thought, yeah, I'm not really enjoying this. But every time I looked at it, I was like, oh man, it looks so cool. Like, maybe if I just, you know, if I persevere with it, I will get it to be the guitar I want it to be, which I have done several times with several guitars now. You know, it's like. Just when you think you're going to give up on a guitar and sell it, one slight change can make all the difference.
I will say this, that I don't think I just did one slight change. It wasn't just the refret. In fact, I did. You requested to have finished on the back of the neck.
The back of the neck, yeah.
And that's something that I think you saw me do on another guitar, which I've since sold off. Is my own guitar. There was this Gibson double cut Les Paul Junior that I had done, basically kind of like a faux stinger on the back of the headstocks. But effectively, that's what I tried to do for George's guitar over here.
Yeah. And now it feels like my other Charvels, you know, because they're not supposed to have lacquer on the neck. I don't like it. They did for a while, but like the ones like you get nowadays where they're just you know, sanded and oiled. That is just such a better feel for me.
Yeah.
And another thing that I thought I didn't like about this guitar at first was I thought the neck was too thin, and it is slightly thinner, but weirdly enough, after you took the finish off, now it feels thicker.
I think there's two things that's happened.
Really weird.
I think there's two things that's happened, and it's something that I will describe in a bit more detail, which is that, first of all, yes, maybe for me personally, it's interesting. I find satin necks feel slimmer, and necks with lacquer thicker. That's my sensation.
Okay.
So there's definitely a change, or at least a difference that is some form of, that has an effect on me psychologically speaking.
Yeah.
So maybe it has an inverse effect for you. So that's one. But the second thing is because I put the jumbo, extra jumbo frets, so the strings sit a bit more proud of the fingerboard. So that could give an illusion or sense that the overall neck thickness has increased.
Yeah.
Because the strings do sit off the neck a little bit more. So some people do may or may not realize this, but when you change from one fret gauge to another, especially when you're going up, you may have a sensation of that the neck feels a bit thicker. And I realized this when I refretted my Nighthawk.
Yeah.
Because I I knew that guitar back to front. I love the way it played. I put the extra jumbo frets on it because why not? And then after I strung it up, set it up, I was like, oh, it feels a bit thicker now.
Yeah.
So I can truly identify with what you're describing over here.
I think that might also be the reason people think my action's high.
Yes.
Because a lot of people see my guitars, like without playing it, they were like, "Well, you like your action quite high, don't you?" And I'm like, "No, not at all."
Yeah.
No, I mean, if anything, I go factory spec and then try and get it a bit lower than that. But everyone thinks it looks high because my frets are huge.
Yeah.
So yes, the strings are probably further away from the wood than they are on your guitar.
That's right.
But they're not that far from the frets.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's where the action is measured.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
So yeah, man. And I think the bridge pickup in this, stock, it sounded great, but it was like incredibly bright. It was nice, but it was a bit like, you know, I might need to change something. So I tried putting 250k pots in.
Right.
It had 500k.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what I want to use this for, because of how it looks, you know, it needs to. I'm not going to play country on this.
No.
So you had this Fralin.
This was a
split pole
43.
That's it.
So it's a ceramic pickup. I owned a set of Strat pickups that were the split pole.
Steel pole?
I had a steel pole 43, but those were definitely non-hum cancelling, so they were just standard single coils, beefier sound overall. But this is the split coil, so this is actually a hum cancelling design.
It is, yeah. So it's basically a hum cancelling P90 disguised as a Telecaster pickup.
That's right. Yes.
And it sounds wicked. Like it's very usable, and it's like I usually don't like pickups that are kind of not here nor there. I like Strat pickups and I like humbuckers.
Yeah.
I don't generally get along with like overpowered single coil pickups or like mini humbuckers that are trying to do the job of a full size humbucker. A humbucker trying to sound like a single coil. I want it to be what it is.
Yeah.
But this has proved very useful. I've used this on several gigs and sessions, and it's its own thing, but it's not super loud or powerful. It's not super bright. It's warm. It's even. And it's just nice to play on. It's really dynamic, you know. It just gives back what you put in, you know.
That's right.
Yeah.
So you can make it as clean or as distorted as you want it to be, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go. Nice.
And that's about it for that one, I think. No other crazy mods.
Yeah, it's one of those guitars that also, for better or worse, George has also turned me on to the reverb store that sold this guitar. We'll put a link in the description for those guys. They're based out of Japan, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
NYCO, that's what they are on.
Yeah. He's had a lot of things that I've been tempted to buy.
So many. I think I've got at least 6 of his guitars in my watch list on reverb at any given point in time. Anyway, let's move on to we've got Ruby over here. So let's talk about this guitar. Okay,
so in part one we saw Safi.
That's right.
which I failed to articulate, was a 1995. I think it's custom shop. That one was listed as custom shop.
Sure.
I don't know, but it was a 1995 fairly short run that Charvel did, which they call the San Dimas traditional reissue, which is kind of confusing because if you look at any other Charvel San Dimas, they don't have a pick guard. They usually have humbuckers.
Yeah.
Or one humbucker.
Yeah.
You know, and they're that very kind of like stripped back Eddie Van Halen type. You know, that's the original San Dimas. So yeah, I don't know why they called it that, but it's basically a Strat. Safi looked a lot like this when I first got her.
That's right.
With this kind of perloy pick guard and just 3 straight up single coil DiMarzio pickups.
Right.
I thought they were going to say Jackson. No, they're DiMarzio.
Yeah.
Not sure what model, just run of the mill single coil pickups. I customized Safi a lot.
That's right.
So that has DiMarzio area pickups in the neck and middle and a super distortion.
That's right.
Super distortion S.
Yeah.
In the bridge, which is the best Strat-sized humbucker I've ever heard. Because I used to think I don't like mini humbuckers because I tried something else and I thought it's not doing the job.
I will fight you a little bit on that because I've got a Strat with the same neck and middle pickup but with a tone zone in the bridge.
Fair enough. No, I'm sure that does it as well. Yeah. But because the super distortion naturally has that like low end and like low mid, like punch and thickness. It works really well as a mini. So I've got similar plans for this. I've already got the black guard for it, and I've got a DiMarzio Sugar Chakra.
Okay.
That I've had just laying around for years that I'm going to bring back and try out in this one. It feels exactly the same as Safi. It's got a really nice neck, really smooth, really well played, worn in.
Yeah.
And after Eric refretted this, just plays 10 times easier. Like, just no friction. Yeah, so when you've got one thing that you love that much and another one comes up, because they're quite rare, you don't see a lot of these around.
Oh yeah, no.
So this came up and I was like, oh. And I ummed and ahed for almost a year before finally buying it.
Yeah.
It has yet to work its way into rotation and get used, but this could probably be my next couch guitar that I just bond with at home for a few months before upgrading it and customizing it and putting it to work.
I will say, and one thing that I always appreciate about some of these, because Josh has turned on to an awareness and appreciation for Charvel guitars, whether it's the in this case, the older American or Japanese. This is American or Japanese?
This is American.
Okay.
Yeah, this and Safi are American. Yeah.
So as you can see, the headstock is a totally different shape altogether. And if anything, this headstock shape, this kind of pseudo S-style headstock, is kind of like what a lot of the Californian builders have always been going towards, which is it tells you what it's supposed to be, but it's very clearly not.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But more importantly is that now that this headstock shape no longer appears anymore, it's that much more rare and that much more desirable, in my opinion, because it almost feels as if the S-style headstock is now duplicitous. It's everywhere. Yeah. Right? Whereas something like this, you don't see it every day.
This headstock shape, as far as my research tells me, lasted maybe 2 years at the most.
Right.
Because if you try and look for these models, there were a few other similar ones in the range, but I have not been able to find any that weren't made in 95.
Wow.
Some, it may have been 95, 96, and that's it. So it was a very short-lived period of American-made Charvels pre-Fender ownership.
Right.
Hence, so they couldn't do the. If you look at early 80s like pre-prod Charvels, they are exactly the Fender Strat headstock shape when when companies were getting away with it back then.
Sure.
Then when they moved their production to Japan in the later 80s and they all had I mean, they were bought by Jackson by that point,
Right,
so
yeah.
they had the Jackson style pointy headstock.
That's right, yeah.
And then, you know, they experimented with a few other ugly ass headstock shapes. Like
Don't hate us, Chevelle lovers.
There's other like Japan-made '90s models that have like the McMull. The McMull style headstock. It's just like it just looks like a spear,
like a triangle.
Spearhead. Yeah, just imagine this bit's not there. Just straight gone. So these are quite special. They're quite rare, and they are really nice. Once you've done what you want to do to them, and you know, just made a few customizations and refret.
Yeah,
they are the bomb. So,
nice.
So I thought I should get another number one in another color. I always kind of wanted a candy apple red guitar anyway. Yeah.
Nice. Let's move on to the last guitar in this series. And as we come to the close, I just want to say thank you, George, for sharing your guitars with us.
My pleasure.
And thank you for all your time. This guitar is actually the latest guitar that I've refretted for George. He used it very recently on an Ocean Boulevard set. And George, tell us about this guitar. Why is it seemingly your number one these days, at least for the Ocean Boulevard stuff?
Yeah, well, I think I've kind of been on a quest through God knows how many, you know, other Strats and parts casters, you know, trying to get like the Strat, you know, the definitive Strat, the one for me. Probably because I've always wanted a custom shop but never had the money to buy one.
Sure.
And what this is I think I bought this body on Reverb, so it's a brand new, you know, poly finish, nothing special, not too expensive.
But good weight though, wasn't super heavy, right?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect, yeah. But the neck is a Fender custom shop from, I think, the Classic Custom or American Classic range from like the late 2000s.
Okay.
So that was a model that was like it was basically like if you imagine like an American standard Strat from the 90s or 2000s, but just a bit more, you know, like just a bit nicer.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's got a nice flame on the back. I love the way they've done the logo on these ones.
Yep.
Where it's like fine black with a gold outline. It's really classy. And this is my Blackie. This is my, you know, my tuxedo Strat. So I think we have DiMarzio area pickups in this.
Nice.
61, 58, no, 60, 61, 67, 58.
Yeah.
Yep. Single ply white guard, obviously going for the Clapton vibe with this one.
Yes, you
but
do.
just without all the frills and fuss and a neck that I actually really like. You know, this didn't have bad frets on it when I got it, but I didn't even bother putting the guitar together. I just gave it straight to you. Like,
that's right. Yeah.
Do your thing, man.
Yeah.
Because I am going to play this.
Yeah. But if you don't mind, could I hang on to the guitar for a sec? Because I want to talk about the neck profile. One thing that I felt that was very interesting about this neck, because you mentioned that, maybe it's like, you know, American standard but nicer. I slightly disagree because I actually feel like this nut width is a little bit narrower.
Really?
So it's just a tiny bit narrower. And there's definitely more of a pronounced C to it. So if I took an American standard today or at least an American standard from the same era, which is maybe late 2000s, I would almost say that this has a slightly more rounded C.
It is, it is more rounded than what I typically go for, but it's still comfortable.
Oh yeah, 100%. In terms of the thickness, it may not be thicker, but I think there's perhaps a bit more shoulder to it.
Yeah,
perhaps. But I remember when you first passed this to me, I was like, wow, check out the flame on this thing. That's incredible. I don't know if it's
and I found this secondhand, obviously. I mean, it was without the rest of the guitar, but it had already been shaved.
That's right.
And I was like, oh, thank God, because that saved me a job. Because you can see the rest of the neck is quite heavily lacquered. You know?
Yeah.
And it looks lovely.
Yeah.
But where it counts, the lacquer's gone.
And this is something that I didn't tell George, but it's something that I did for my own guitar, and something that I think I may not have articulated to you when I did this, is that, as you guys probably know, for most Fenders, they come without binding. at least for the neck. There's maybe like a few select limited edition models, or maybe an Eric Johnson model that has a the binding on the fingerboard edge, but by and large most Fenders do not. And as a result, if ever there is fret sprout, as we were talking about earlier, okay, the thing that you feel is actually the tang of the frets that protrude out from the shaft of the neck. And what I did was I actually removed the end of the frets, end of the fret tang, so that it no longer protrudes. And even if there is a bit of movement, you feel a lot less, right? Compared to, if, for example, I left the tangs straight in, ahead with it. So hopefully there'll be a lot less, if not hardly any, discernible fret sprout, even when the time comes.
Yeah.
But there we go.
Yeah, cool.
But tell us a bit more about the bridge, because I couldn't help but notice that you used the sort of like the Graphtec bridge.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where this came from, but I've had this bridge for a long time, and I think it was just on some other Strat that I bought. It might have been the Chinese Fender one that I got from Kelly. So I think I kept certain bits and pieces of certain guitars along the way, and I thought these are nice. I mean, it doesn't look like the Clapton thing, but they are so smooth because none of the what do you call it? The threads are poking out.
Okay, none of the saddle screws, you mean?
So you don't cut your hand. Really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the saddle screws. Yeah, and they're just like soft matte sort of, well, they're graphite, I guess, aren't they? But they have more of a sort of plasticky feel than your typical bent steel.
That's right.
Saddles. So they're super comfortable. Nice. So I always got along really well with this bridge, so I kept it and I've used it for this.
Nice. Awesome. So we've come to the end of this little segment here. Tell us a bit more about, what the future holds for yourself, for your guitars, for the studio. Give us a bit of a crystal ball into the future.
I wish I could. Hopefully, I would love to do a lot more recording work at the studio, both for the sake of the studio and for my own sake as a session guitarist, and also doing a bit of production and mixing.
Nice.
Because that's something I got into recently, and I feel like I can do it and I like it.
Nice.
So yeah, it's great fun, really rewarding. It's just amazing to be able to bring someone else's songs to life and add layers to it. And,
that's right.
Get it out there
to
the world. So yeah, and as far as original stuff, hopefully There Be Wolves has still got some life left in it. We've been working on some acoustic stuff, which is sounding really cool.
Nice.
So maybe the next thing we record will be an EP or an album with Wolves that is possibly entirely acoustic.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, and this is just to give a quick shout out to George in the studio. For those who do not know, 1980 Studio is based here in the heart of Singapore. And when I say the heart of Singapore, east side is the best side. And then what I mean by that is that they're in Joo Chiat. Okay, I'm not just partial to the studio because George and the other owners are my friends, but also because they've got an incredible thing going on. They've got 3 full rooms for rental. George has already alluded to the fact that they do all kinds of events over here in this space, and of course they are wonderful partners to work with as musicians because George is a guitar maestro himself. So please hit up the studio. You'll be able to find all the links to their socials in the description below, and we'll look forward to more good times here at the studio. Hopefully there'll be some events that I'll get to see you guys attend as well.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I just want to close off also by saying I want to thank George for being such a good friend and such a generous friend. Not many people can say that they will show up to be supportive of you when you start something. As you guys know, I started this whole refretting thing just around COVID. Josh has been with me every step of the way. So thank you very much, my friend. Really appreciate you.
Likewise, man. Back at you. Thank you for making my guitars better.
That's
and
my
saving me from having to get rid of some.
Don't tell your wives that. Okay, I think that's all we have for today. This two-part series was recorded all in one shot. So I just want to say, thank you very much for sticking with us. If you've been, with us since part 1, thank you for your time. Stay savvy, and I'll see you in the next video.
And then I thought the bridge pickup on its own isn't really going to serve me. Hello. Roxy the studio cat.
Roxy the studio cat.